the leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go. From a studio deep in the heart of Texas.
You're not going to believe the garbage that fell out of his mouth.
The voice of the working man.
This clown had the audacity to say that.
It's the Gavin Mitchell Show.
It's not a race issue. It's a First Amendment issue, and we all just need to understand it.
And now, here's your host, Gavin Mitchell.
19-1, ladies and gentlemen. That is my record currently in the bracket. 19-1. This is the best start by Gavin Mitchell in the history of NCAA tournament brackets, but it is about to go downhill and downhill quickly. As we were recording right now, I have Cal, a 4-seed, beating Hawaii, and they are in trouble with 55 seconds left in the game. So that is not looking so promising. And then you go over to, what region is this? This is the Midwest region, and Middle Tennessee State University is giving Michigan State all they want and then some. They're up by about 9, about halfway through the second half. And so keep your eyes on those two games if you care anything at all about basketball. And, of course, I did get the phone call from Matt Locke late last night wanting to know what was going on after he heard the show. Was not happy that he was a basketball guy and being called out by the Texas boy. But he has a very competitive bracket himself, and so I'm curious what he's going to say on today's show. About, it wasn't really a challenge, but it kind of was it not? But welcome to the Gavin Mitchell Show. I am Gavin Mitchell. It is not going to be all basketball today. We have got a lot to talk about. I want to kind of take a detour today, and I want to talk about some things that may not be mainstream. They may not catch the media's attention as everything else does, but I do want to throw around a little bit this idea of the third-party candidate, that person being Cruz, not being Cruz, the Trump Cruz candidate. I just want to talk some strategery at this point with the GOP and where we're at, and that's where we're going to spend our time the first segment. And then just as I got a lot of questions about the brokered convention and the contested convention and what happens to delegates when, starting to get a lot of questions about the nomination process for a Supreme Court justice and what exactly can be done and by whom. And so I want to spend some time in that. If we're not going to be anything, at least we can be educational and help people understand the process by which these politicians are playing so that we can hold them accountable. You may not agree with my opinion, but let's at least leave the show with an understanding of what most people don't understand. I'll be honest with you. I don't always know all this stuff until I get in. I dig in and I research and we come up with some answers, but I do have some answers there. Very interesting. The con man in chief has come out and slammed the Bush administration for not being transparent enough, but he seems like he was a little quick to talk. Kerry finally decides that he's going to declare genocide out in the Middle East. And we have a huge endorsement for Hillary Clinton, and it's one that all Democrats should be ecstatic about following the David Duke incident with Donald Trump. So there's our agenda today. I hope we have time to get to it all, but let's get to this GOP race. And we talked a little bit about going into the convention, whether it was going to be contested or brokered and what the numbers look like headed in. and how the establishment is scared stiff. They really are. They see the same thing we see, in that it's going to be very difficult if you're anti-Trump to keep Trump from the nomination. That is hurdle number one. If somehow they are able to do that through first a contested, then a brokered convention, and we discussed the differences yesterday, the questions start mounting. How do they resolve that problem if they can or if they can't keep Trump from running? Well, if they can't, they have talked a little bit about running a third-party candidate out there. And that was a little bit about that secret meeting up on Capitol Hill with some of the power players, talking about running a third candidate out there. And there were even some whispers of it being Ted Cruz. Well, obviously all of this discussion is without Ted Cruz's permission, blessing, or knowledge, but that was their talk, that they felt that Ted Cruz had the best chance of beating Donald Trump. Well, I would propose, if that's the case, then why not put all of your support, all of your money behind Ted Cruz right now and mount an opposition, an unfractured opposition to Donald Trump. That way you keep him from getting the 1237 he needs. You begin to roll up the totals you need. And when you go into the convention contested, you can throw all your money and all your effort and all your sway at the delegates to support Cruz, and maybe you come out ahead. But here's the problem with that scenario. That's not the solution they want. That's a solution they'll take. What they want is one of these establishment candidates. And what is the answer to that? Well, the answer is to make sure this is a brokered convention. And when they do that, when they have the brokered convention, then they parachute somebody in they like. And if you look at a show of hands right now as to who it is, well, it's not Mitt Romney. He's not running for president of the United States, but he would support X. Well, it's not John Boehner. John Boehner's not interested, but he would support Y. Well, it's not Paul Ryan, but Paul Ryan would support X, Y, and Z. And Jeb Bush is still hanging out there. You've got all of these establishment candidates that won't step up to the plate, and I just wish they would say, hey, you know what? You bet. I'd love it. I don't care how I get it. I'd love it. Because that's really what they're all thinking. They would all love to be president of the United States. They have tried on numerous occasions and fallen right on their face. And so that's, if you're the establishment, you're between a rock and a hard place. And this all goes back to still their lack of an understanding as to why all of this has happened, why Trump has happened. They still don't get it. They still can't put two and two together. I can sit here and explain it till I'm blue in the face. Other talk show hosts get it. They understand what's going on, and they have explained it. Some of those talk show hosts have their ear, but they refuse to take accountability that they created this mess. That by not standing up to the Obama administration, they have created this void, much the way Hillary did when she got rid of Gaddafi out in the Middle East. She created a void in which ISIS rose up. Now, I'm not saying Donald Trump's ISIS. Don't mishear me. But I am saying that they created the void and they refused to take accountability or responsibility for it and be accountable for it. And so here we are. Now, there's also been a lot of talk, and this is part of the conversation. Anytime Matt Locke and I get on the phone, it goes from whatever we were talking to politics in about 60 seconds. And then we'll talk for hours about politics. But one of the things he asked me, and he asked me point blank, why wouldn't, if you were Ted Cruz, being that you're in your lower 40s in age, why wouldn't you, if after this next run, if you were significantly behind and Donald Trump was knocking on the door, given everything that's out there, this disdain for the establishment and Cruz and Trump being the outsiders, why wouldn't you bow out and say, Donald, it's yours. Go get it. Mend the bridges with Donald Trump and possibly take that VP nod and serve as VP for 8 years, much the way 41 did, and then step up to the plate. And maybe we get 16 years of not Hillary, of not liberalism, of not socialism. And the wheels begin turning as he painted this hypothesis for me. I swear I can speak. And I thought, yeah, but, and then he explained why it would be easier for the moderates and the liberals to swallow if between this extreme liberal and an extreme conservative in Ted Cruz, we had a stair step. We had a stepping stone in Donald Trump. He would still do the things that need to be done. He would still achieve the things that need to be achieved. He would set up the pillars that need to happen to negotiate these deals on our foreign policy. But he would have Ted Cruz, somebody who understands the law and the Constitution, and right there guiding him through all of it. And so you get the business acumen of one of the very best. You get the constitutional knowledge of the very best, and you put them together. And all of a sudden, this thing starts to make a little sense here. And we have 8 years of just prosperity economically because I'm telling you as an economist, it will not take as long as people think to get out of this mess they created if they would just take the foot off the neck of the economy. If they would fix the trade deals and roll back some of the restraints that these administrations have placed on the marketplace, it wouldn't take a great deal of effort or a great deal of time to fix that. Donald Trump knows that, and he can fix that. Meanwhile, Ted Cruz is right there to teach him the ins and outs of Washington, the ins and outs of politics. He would be there to lend his expertise in Supreme Court appointees, and he would be positioning himself to become the next president of the United States. And so what? He'd be right at 50, 51, 52. I don't know exactly how old Ted Cruz is. That's still a young buck in the world of presidents. And the more Matlock talked to me, the more this thing made sense. And the more I got excited. And I was like, yeah, it's 16 years. And we've seen the economic prosperity of what happens when you get a conservative in, like we did Reagan. And that was the only objection I had to this hypothetical, this hypothesis that was being painted on the wall, was that we don't have to have that stepping stone because we had it before. When we went from Huckleberry out of Georgia to Ronald Reagan, it was a complete swing of the pendulum. But these are different times. These are different places. And so perhaps Ted Cruz isn't as smooth as Ronald Reagan. Maybe he's not the great orator that Reagan was, and I'll concede that. But man, this plan is sounding better and better the whole time. And when I was on New Media Patriot Radio, talking with Chris and Bill Mitchell, Mr. Mitchell didn't agree with me. He didn't think that the bridge could be mended between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. I'm here to tell you wholeheartedly and 100% it can and it will, especially if this situation presents itself, because Ted Cruz has a disdain for the establishment as much as Donald Trump. And more than winning, they don't want to lose. And so they absolutely would hammer this out. And Donald Trump would be a fool not to pad his resume, not to fill out his realm of expertise with him and his staff going into the election, because Donald Trump can and will beat Hillary Clinton in states like New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, California, where Ted Cruz wouldn't do well, Michigan. But Ted Cruz will also deliver Texas and the hardcore conservative states. You bet he will. And so it seems like it just makes so much sense. And the more I think about it, I can't come up with a reason why not other than ego. And if that's the case, boys, lay it down and do what's right for this country. Now, I also presented a hypothetical in this picture that was being painted. Well, is this something Donald Trump really wants? I'm not convinced still that he wants to be president of the United States. There's still part of me, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, there's still part of me holding on to this that says he's just doing it to prove he can. Somebody told him he couldn't do it, and so he went out and did it. And so my question is after 4 years, is he going to run for re-election? If not, there's Cruz. And so the more you think about this, the better idea it becomes if your goal is to stop this socialistic movement that's happening in Washington, to stop the liberals dead in their track and take back our country and begin relying and believing and leaning on the Constitution again. and stomping out this complacency that is Capitol Hill and the Republican Party that seems to forget that we need an opposition party to this monster. And so I welcome you. If you have got a reason as to why this is a horrible idea, I would love to hear from you. And don't give me that, well, it just won't happen. I'm not interested in hearing that. Give me something that matters. Give me a reason why that holds true, why it's not a good idea. Now, right before we go to break, I'm looking at the scores. Hawaii beat Cal. Dadgummit. There's loss number 2. And, Michigan State has stormed back. It's 68-64 with 7:41 left in the second. So I might be safe there. I don't know. But dadgummit, second loss of the tournament. But you know what? This deep in, I'll go 19-2. We'll take it all day. Hey, on the other side, we're going to talk about Supreme Court justices, the nomination process, so we can approach this in an educated manner and just understand the politics and the chess game that's going on. Be right back.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessory store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Let Twisted Roads Trading Post be the place to go. Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Sewing, embroidery, and T-shirt printing services are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit TwistedRoadsTradingPost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Do you believe in conservative politics, common sense issues, and the U.S. Constitution? So does Matt Locke. Who is Matt Locke? Well, Matt's just a guy that believes, like many of you, that our country is headed in the wrong direction. If you feel the same, then go to Matt's new website, themattlockshow.com. Matt is a friend of the Gavin Mitchell Show, and he's a conservative podcaster and talk show host who will shoot you straight and provide information that is important to the conservative listener. You'll hear political commentary, news, and he'll discuss the current issues that will affect you during this election election season. Listen to Matt's daily podcast anytime on his website at themattlockshow.com, spelled MATTLOCKE, or find his show on Spreaker.com and TuneIn.com. He's also syndicated on ICR and the Internet's new conservative radio network. Join Matt and his guest on the Matt Lock Show daily at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on conservativeradionetwork.com, or listen to any of his 400 archive shows at any time on the MattLockShow.com. The Matt Lock Show, all things conservative politics.
Hey, everybody, it's Chris Salcedo from the Blaze Radio Network. You are listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show.
So there's a lot of talk and a lot of questions about this Supreme Court Justice nominee, this Judge Garland off the D.C. Circuit, and whether I believe that the Senate will hold firm in their promise to not hold hearings. And to give you a little background, this is not a new political tactic. This strategery is nothing new. We saw it back when Reagan tried to nominate. We saw it when the Bushes tried to nominate. The left step up, and even the vice president now, Joe Biden, when he was a senator, ran a hypothetical and said, look, we're not going to hold hearings. We shouldn't hold hearings. And Chuck Schumer even came out with 450 days left in a Republican president's term and said, look, we need to stand pat. We need to not hold hearings for this nominee. Let's wait and let's put this effectively on the ballot as part of the presidential election and let the people choose whether they want a liberal or a conservative justice on the Supreme Court to fill that spot. So this tactic isn't anything new. This strategery isn't anything new. But I want to talk a little bit about how and why that could happen. And there are roles that different individuals, different entities play per the Constitution. Per the Constitution, there is no set number of Supreme Court justices. It doesn't have to be 9. It could be 11, 7, 12, 36. It doesn't matter. There doesn't have to be a set number per the Constitution. And so with that said, this nomination doesn't necessarily have to happen. In fact, I'm looking at something here. Since 1869, the Supreme Court has been comprised of 9 justices. But when it was established in 1789, the Supreme Court only had 6 justices, an even number. During periods of Civil War, 10 justices served. And so this number can move and it can fluctuate. And there is no number that the Constitution dictates that says we have to have this many justices. But for a justice to end up on the Supreme Court, to get an appointment, there is a process. The process is that the President of the United States scours the land, looks upon all those that may be worthy, and picks somebody. In this case, he picks Merrick Garland. And he says, look, here's why I think Merrick Garland is a great nominee. The president doesn't have to do this in a matter of weeks upon an opening. He doesn't have to do it upon an opening. He can do it just because. This can happen whenever the president sees fit, for whatever reason the president sees fit. There doesn't have to be a death or a retirement on the Supreme Court for him to do this. It doesn't have to just be 1. He could nominate 4 if he wanted to. And if you go back to the New Deal, that's part of the threat that was made, that if the Supreme Court struck down the New Deal, then FDR was going to pack the courts. And what he was going to do is add 2 more justices that leaned with him in an ideological respect. And if that didn't work, he was going to add 2 more, and he was just going to keep bringing the case back to the Supreme Court until he packed it with enough people that leaned his way for it to be a good deal. That's what it's about. So there is no magic number. 8 could be a magic number. We could have 8 justices from here on out on the Supreme Court if the Senate felt that was necessary. Now they don't, right? They agree that this accepted tradition of there being 9 on the Supreme Court is the right place to be. There hadn't been an argument about that. But let me digress. The president doesn't have a timetable to make this nomination, and he can nominate whomever he sees fit. There are no conditions. There are no, as far as the Constitution establishes no qualifications for Supreme Court justices. Instead, nomination is typically based on the nominee's legal experience and competence. And so, again, this is a very vague process as far as when and who, but how, it's very specific. The president nominates. So what happens after the president nominates? As soon as that nomination is received by the Senate, the House has nothing to do with this process. It is strictly the Senate. It's referred to the Senate Judiciary Committee. And this committee, and this is where the magic happens. This is why I am so sure that this rumor and this talk that the Senate's going to cave isn't going to happen. Because the chairman of the Senate committee is none other than Chuck Grassley. But on this committee, Senator Orrin Hatch, Senator Jeff Sessions, Senator Mike Lee, Senator Ted Cruz, among others. Now, just those guys I read right there, do you think they're going to cave? Absolutely not. There is zero chance those guys give in. Zero chance. But let's say they did. Let's run this out. So the Judiciary Committee, what they do is once they receive the nomination, if this was in normal order, they would send the nominee a questionnaire. And that questionnaire will ask about biographical, financial, employment, copies of the nominee's legal writings, opinions issued, testimony and speeches, just anything they can to get an understanding. And of course, they're doing their due diligence as well. Guys that have clerked for Supreme Court justices like Ted Cruz, people that understand the law, they're in there digging. They have staff digging. They're trying to find out whether this guy's a guy they want or not. Moreover, guys, and I keep referring to Ted Cruz because we know his background with the law and with the Constitution, right? We know he clerked for the Supreme Court Justice Rehnquist, Chief Justice Rehnquist. And so I keep referring to him, but there are others on the committee that are in the same boat. But Ted Cruz is going to know who these people are before they even get there. He's going to know their legal reputation. He's going to know what opinions they wrote and where they were at on certain votes. That was his job as Solicitor General of the state of Texas for a long time, was to follow that. And so that's no secret. So they send out this questionnaire and the nominee will fill it out, and then they'll listen to it. And then the Judiciary Committee will hold hearings on the nomination. And what happens there is they give the nominee the opportunity to make an opening statement, and then they start with questions. And the questions come from the committee members, and it could be an all-out assault. It could be friendly. It could be whatever tone they set. It's up to them. And the chairman, Senator Grassley, would oversee all of this. And then once that's done, and again, the tone is completely up to the political climate at that point. It could be comfortable. It could be intense. But after that, the committee members are given 1 week to submit follow-up questions in writing. And then the nominee submits his or her responses in writing. Now, once they receive that, they'll get together and the recommendation of the Judiciary Committee will move to the full Senate. At that point, the Senate holds its own debate and its own hearings, and the chairman of the Judiciary Committee leads that hearing. And the senior Democratic and senior Republican members of the Judiciary Committee lead their party's questioning, and the Senate hearing and debate, that typically takes about a week for the entire Senate to weigh in. Then the Senate will vote on the nomination, up or down, and that's what you heard the president say. Give him an up or down vote. A simple majority vote for the senators is required for a nominee to be confirmed. So in layman's terms, let me take 3 steps backwards. The president decides to nominate somebody. It goes to the Senate. At that point, the Judiciary Committee sends a questionnaire to the nominee. The nominee fills it out, and it comes back. And then they have oral hearings. And then the oral hearings are done, and then they submit some follow-up questions to the nominee, and he responds in writing. Then a recommendation is given to the Senate, and then the whole Senate holds the hearing. And that normally takes about a week if everything's on the up and up. And then they give you an up or down vote. That's how it is. But nowhere in the Constitution does it say that this has to happen within X amount of days. Does it say that, well, you've got 2 weeks to get that questionnaire to the nominee, and he's got a week to return it, and then you've got 3 days to schedule the hearing? None of that is true. And the reason I am so sure that the Republicans will hold serve on this is because of who is on this committee. They will not allow this to happen. I am convinced of it. And I know that I shouldn't have a lot of faith in the Republican Party up on Capitol Hill, but I look at the true conservatives that are in this committee, and I have zero problem giving them my vote of confidence that they're going to hold serve. Now, moreover, I have dug and I have dug and I have dug, and I cannot find it anywhere. What I would suggest, just on the outside looking in and not knowing the rules of the Senate, I know it's not in the Constitution, but once the president nominates somebody, why not wait until November once the election's up? Because this Judge Garland, yes, he has a horrid record on guns, and it would turn the court to a liberal-leaning court. But it is much better. He is much better than anything Hillary Clinton would give us. Head and shoulders. This would be a great compromise if Hillary Clinton was nominating a Supreme Court justice. And so my suggestion is, why not wait till November? Just say, we're not doing anything. Push the pause button. Let November come around. See who wins the election. If the right wins the election, then this nomination just falls by the wayside and it dies. If the left wins, then why not kick this process up? You've got 2 months to do it and get this guy confirmed. I don't think the president can reel back his nomination. I don't know that it's ever happened. But man, that would be strategery at the highest level if you were Republicans in the Senate. And so that's a little bit about how this game's played, and it's an understanding of the process and things of that nature. Just after several conversations, I know it may not have been as entertaining as you wanted it to be, but after several conversations, it became abundantly clear that I needed to dig into this and we needed to share this. So as you see people like Harry Reid crying that they're playing politics, the reality is he can't do a thing about it. And you see the president say, well, it's not fair. They have a constitutional obligation. No, they don't. And now that we have all of this out on the table, you can begin to pick and sort through the political rhetoric and the gamesmanship and what the left does, preying on ignorance, because we can't all dig into Senate rules and what the Constitution lays out as process every day. We've got to work. But now that we have an understanding, we can better gauge who's telling the truth, who's being deceitful, and who's playing games, and we can hold them accountable at the ballot box. And so I hope this second segment helped on that. And again, I'm going to dig a little deeper. I'll get back with you on whether the president can reel in this nomination if the Republicans were to lose the general election and Hillary's their person, because if it is, the nominee we have in front of us is a great compromise. It doesn't do everything we want it to do. It doesn't shoot. In fact, it makes the court lean left. We don't want that. But it's a lot better than Antonin Scalia's counterpart, his inverse, taking the bench, because then we're in real trouble if that happens. So that's that. I wanted to present it to you. On the other side, we're going to get into Barack Obama and more of the same from him. He's claiming the Bush administration wasn't so transparent. We'll get into it. Don't go anywhere.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Do you believe in conservative politics, common sense issues, and the U.S. Constitution? So does Matt Locke. Who is Matt Locke? Well, Matt's just a guy that believes, like many of you, that our country is headed in the wrong direction. If you feel the same, then go to Matt's new website, themattlockshow.com. Matt is a friend of the Gavin Mitchell Show, and he's a conservative podcaster and talk show host who will shoot you straight and provide information that is important to the conservative listener. You'll hear political commentary, news, and he'll discuss the current issues that will affect you during this election election season. Listen to Matt's daily podcast anytime on his website at themattlockshow.com, spelled MATTLOCKE, or find his show on Spreaker.com and TuneIn.com. He's also syndicated on ICRN, the Internet's new conservative radio network. Join Matt and his guest on The Matt Locke Show daily at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on conservativeradionetwork.com, or listen to any of his 400 archive shows at any time on themattlockshow.com. The Matt Locke Show, all things conservative politics.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Hey everybody, Gavin Mitchell from The Gavin Mitchell Show here. Of course you can find our show every week on our flagship station, News and Information, 570 AM KLIF, but sometimes once a week just isn't enough. I would encourage you to go out to our website, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com, and there you'll find a plethora of information about the show, including archived episodes of our daily podcast. You'll find a blog written by me and other conservative writers, and entertaining videos that are available with the Gavin Mitchell Experience. I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The GM Show. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. And of course, we are on our flagship station for the internet, conservativeradionetwork.com, with the most talented conservative podcasters in the country. So be sure to tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. right here on News and Information 570 AM KLIF, or through the week at conservativeradionetwork.com or www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at JABEAU.com. That's JABEAU.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Hello, this is Patrick Fernari, author of Commoner Sense, The Working Person's Guide to America, and you're listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show.
See, I opened my mouth. Michigan State's about to blow my whole bracket. My whole bracket. They are down 5 with 29 seconds left in the second half. This is not okay. Not okay even a little bit. Oh, it's going to ruin my whole day. All right, I promised you some more information from the con man in chief, and here we go. The con man has been noted. It has been clear that he has more than once made the promise and claim that they had the most transparent administration in the history of this country. And we know that to be garbage. Well, there is an event called Sunshine Week that every year it's a week celebrating the open and transparent government, and that we are on the heels of that. Here's the problem. Well, let's step back. When Barack Obama missed Nancy Reagan's funeral, it's because he was in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest, this big artsy festival. It's art, it's music, it's just a lot of things that it's a really cool thing, quite honestly. I don't know if it's worth missing a First Lady's funeral for, but it's awesome. And he had a big event. He was a keynote speaker, so on and so forth. I'm not claiming he shouldn't have been there. I'm just saying he probably shouldn't have been there in front of the First Lady, former First Lady's funeral. But while he was there, he was hosted at a private home for a fundraiser. And Josh Earnest, this lying POS, comes out and he slams the Bush administration for not being as transparent as the Obama administration. And what he leans on to make this statement is the quote, allowing the pool into an event that is hosted in a private home, and the pool being the journalist pool, the journalists that follow the president around. Allowing the pool into an event that is hosted by a private home represents an advance for transparency that the previous administration didn't respect, Ernest said. And this came about because Anita Kumar of the New York Times wrote an article and comments that President Obama had made a private fundraiser in Austin last week, and that Obama had told these Democratic donors that they needed to rally behind Hillary Clinton because Bernie Sanders was done. The campaign was coming to an end. And we've known that. Everybody with half a brain knows that Bernie Sanders is done. This game had been rigged since the beginning. And so he's at this fundraising event for the Democratic Party, and he's telling people, look, you need to side with Hillary. Bernie's done. It's just over before it got started. And so the Times asked, and the White House confirmed that this is a fact. It's a fact. It's how he sees it. And the president has the right to endorse anybody he wants to. But Ernest is leveraging this whole situation that he was overheard saying this, and Barack Obama's not a complete idiot. He knew the press pool was there. He knew the press pool could overhear it, so he let it slip out. And so that happens, and the Times asked about it. They confirmed, and here we are. But Ernest leverages this whole thing to be, well, we're more transparent than the Bush administration because the Bush administration would have never let you into that dinner to begin with. Well, Mr. Ernest, I'm glad you brought that up because the AP releases a story yesterday that claims the Obama administration set a record for the number of times its federal employees told disappointed citizens, journalists, and others, despite searching, they could not find a single page requested under the Freedom of Information Act. Huh? But this is the most transparent administration in the history of the world. This is the same administration that's so transparent the Secretary of State will look you in the eye when you just lost your son in Benghazi and tell you it's about a video. It's the most transparent administration because the Secretary of State will use a private server that may or may not have been hacked. We know some of the emails are being used in a Russian trial, because she keeps emails on her private server outside the government firewall, but claims it's not a big deal and it's definitely not against the law. That's what this administration is about, and that's just two examples because Hillary's the front runner and that's low-hanging fruit. The piece continues. In more than 1 in 6 cases, or almost 130,000 times, government searchers said they came up empty-handed last year. Such cases contributed to an alarming measurement. People who asked for records under the law received censored files or nothing in 77% of the requests. Also a record. So when they ask for something, 77% of the time. Now keep in mind, the law says if they ask for something, they have to get it unless it is classified or sensitive. And so what they're saying is 77% of the time, and no matter who was asking, either nothing was produced or censored files were produced. Are you kidding me? In his first full year as president, Barack Obama, after his election, the figure was only 65% of the cases. That's still a stupid number. But this is the most transparent administration in history. That number shouldn't go up. It should go down. The FBI couldn't find records in 39% of the cases. The EPA regional office that oversees New York and New Jersey couldn't find anything 58% of the time. U.S. Customs and Border Protection couldn't find anything 34% of the time. And Adam Marshall, an attorney with the Washington-based Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, is quoted as saying, "It's incredibly unfortunate when someone waits months, perhaps years, to get a response to their request, only to be told that the agency can't find anything." That is unbelievable. It is impossible to know whether more requests last year involved non-existent files or whether federal workers were searching less than diligently before giving up to consider a case closed. The administration said it completed a record almost 770,000 requests, a 19% increase over the previous year, despite hiring only 283 new full-time workers on the issue. The number of times the government said it couldn't find records increased 35% over the same period. So that's what this president's doing. He's spinning it. He's spinning it saying, "Oh, well, we don't have enough people to pull the workload. We're sorry. We're sorry about that." Transparent my backside. Don't go anywhere.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessory store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Let Twisted Roads Trading Post be the place to go. Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Sewing, embroidery, and T-shirt printing services are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit twistedroadstradingpost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Hey everybody, Gavin Mitchell from The Gavin Mitchell Show here. Of course you can find our show every week on our flagship station, News and Information, 570 AM KLIF, but sometimes once a week just isn't enough. I would encourage you to go out to our website, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com, and there you'll find a plethora of information about the show, including archived episodes of our daily podcast. You'll find a blog written by me and other conservative writers, and entertaining videos that are available with the Gavin Mitchell Experience. I would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The GM Show. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. And of course, we are on our flagship station for the internet, conservativeradionetwork.com, with the most talented conservative podcasters in the country. So be sure to tune in Saturdays at 8 p.m. right here on News and Information 570 AM KLIF, or through the week at conservativeradionetwork.com or www.thegavinmitchellshow.com.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Hey, everybody, it's Chris Salcedo from the Blaze Radio Network. You are listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Going to close this week out with a little bit of poetic justice in my mind. Before we do, I want to remind you, tomorrow night, just like every Saturday night, you can find us live on News and Information 570 KLIF here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That starts at 8 p.m. Central. If you are not in the Dallas listening area, you can stream it via KLIF.com, also through iHeart, and it is also being played live 8 p.m. Central on ConservativeRadioNetwork.com. Please tune in, give us a listen. We're excited about this week's show, and I just wanted to remind you that tomorrow night, if 5 times isn't enough, you can catch us a 6th time on Saturday night. A KKK Grand Dragon has officially endorsed Hillary Clinton for president. Now, this comes on the heels of David Duke endorsing Donald Trump, and I was there when it happened. The lady raised her hand at the press conference in Fort Worth, Texas, and said, "Mr. Trump, David Duke has endorsed you. What do you feel about it?" He's like, "What? I disavow that." And then he went on CNN, and they made a big deal about it. Anyway, he's distanced himself from that. But this guy, what is his name? Quigg is his name. He is the Will Quigg, the Grand Dragon of the KKK's California chapter, said during an interview with the Telegraph, "We want Hillary Clinton to win." Quigg based his support on his belief that Clinton is pushing false promises on the campaign trail. What? She's lying? No. Once she gets elected, Quigg said, her agenda will completely shift. Well, that's not typical of a liberal politician. Border policies are going to be put in place, Quigg said. Our Second Amendment rights that she's saying she's against now, she's not against. She's just our choice for the presidency. So this guy is basing his entire endorsement off lies. He's saying she's lying. He claims in a tweet from September that the only hope we have of getting, quote, white America back is Hillary Clinton. Now, he was asked, well, why don't you like Donald Trump? We don't like his hair. We think it's a toupee. That's sound logic not to vote for somebody right there. We won't do what he won't do what he says he will do. But the very reason you're voting for Clinton is because she's not going to do what she said he was going to do. He said he's going to build a 20-foot high fence along the border with Mexico and make them pay. How's he going to do that? And how does Quigg know about Clinton's supposed secret KKK-friendly agenda? The piece asked. I cannot reveal my sources, he said. It's my opinion, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. I don't want her to come back and say I'm slandering her. This is just pure poetic justice, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason I bring it up is it's funny. It's funny to a degree that Trump caught so much heat about David Duke doing it, but you haven't heard one word about this with Hillary Clinton. You haven't heard a single reporter ask her about it, and here it is. It's in black and white. It's plain as day. I don't know how it gets any more clear that this guy's supporting Hillary Clinton, but he's supporting her for all the wrong reasons. He's supporting her because she's a complete liar, but he's anti-Trump because he's a complete liar. And this goes to my point. I've said it a million times. Sometimes it's not about race or religion, creed, color, country of origin. Sometimes an idiot is just an idiot. And here we have another example. This shouldn't be a black mark or a tarnish for Hillary Clinton, and I can't believe I'm taking up for her here. But she can't control what this idiot says. This idiot has a worldview that is based on the pigment in an individual's skin. He believes that how much pigment or the lack thereof in an individual's skin determines whether you're good, bad, or indifferent. It is an attribute to your character. It is more important than your character. And he is an idiot. He is ignorant and he is an idiot. But the great thing about the United States is you have a right to be an idiot. You have a right to speak your mind even when you're wrong. My point in bringing this up, one, it is poetic justice because everybody attacked Donald Trump, but you haven't heard word one about Hillary. But two, Hillary Clinton can't control this idiot. Donald Trump can't control David Duke, so on and so forth. And so to paint the candidate as a villain in these situations is completely wrong. In fact, I would argue the way the press has handled Miss Clinton in this situation is the right way. The way they handled Donald Trump was completely wrong and out of line. You cannot control these idiots. But understanding we live in a world in which these idiots exist, these idiots have a warped view of what goes on in our country and what is right and wrong, but appreciating the fact that America is great and allows that is what makes this country so incredible and unlike any other. And that is what we're fighting for in this election, is to protect idiots like this guy's right to be an idiot so that we can express ourselves when we believe wholeheartedly we are right and not face persecution from those that are in power that happen to disagree. There is a very important and fundamental lesson to learn from this piece, and I hope you've grabbed onto it because it's incredible. That's going to do it for this week, folks. Remember, in the words of the great Ray Wiley Hubbard, on the days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, well, I have really good days. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night. I'm Gavin Mitchell. This is The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Thanks for listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show, the voice of the working man, produced in Fort Worth, Texas. If you like what you just heard, subscribe on iTunes and Spreaker.com. These and other links can be found on our website at thegavinmitchellshow.com. Be sure to tell your friends and colleagues about the Voice of the Working Man's daily podcast. Join us tomorrow for another edition of The Gavin Mitchell Show. All opinions expressed by the host or guests on this series are solely their opinions and do not reflect the views, policies, or positions of The Gavin Mitchell Show or its affiliates. This has been a Ron Phillips Pinnacle Voice Studios production.